Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another channeled reading. So this time we are divining messages while we are still under the cosmic umbrella of the super moon in Aries. So this is a timeless reading. So trust when you see this that these messages are for you. And I have set the intention that you manifest this reading when you are ready to work with the specific energies showing up at this time. So getting straight to the reading. The tarot card that came out for you guys right now, this collective reading, we have the Chariot. So the message that you have manifested from Spirit, the message that you need to hear right now is there is a literal force of energy or momentum behind you currently that is moving with and behind you. And this force is specifically targeting a challenge that is in your life right now. And this is a pretty stubborn challenge. This is something that has been keeping you from a sense of victory and achievement, as well as even progress, because everything about the Chariot has to do with moving forward. And funny thing about this recent supermoon, this full moon that we had in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, who is the god of war. And Aries and Mars is who you want to summon when you are going into battle, when your back is against the wall, when you are fighting to survive or going up against a major opposition. Mars helps you to dig deep and find your inner warrior. But in Aries supermoon, it gives you the power to conjure up warrior energies, deities, ancestors, ascended masters, angels, and divine beings whose talent is in going to war and winning that war. And this is something that we went into deep detail with as well for the Patreon members and the YouTube members, where we dove all the way into the supermoon in Aries and how I described it as like a spiritual war cry that is happening collectively right now, where spiritually our soul is calling for help. It's reaching out for spiritual help. When it comes to a challenge in our life, it's like a specific sort of challenge that has rooted itself deeply into our lives. It's embedded itself into our energy. It's something that we need to pull out by the root. It's something that needs to be extracted from our life like a root canal. And so right now, your spirit is preparing to or already is in the midst of conflict and is colliding with forces. And this may be a really big test that you are up against. It may be scary, difficult, or even painful, but look at what you have behind you. Okay, a lot of you may intuitively sense that you are in the midst of some sort of a spiritual battle. It may be manifesting mentally, where you feel like you are mentally in some sort of a battle. It may feel like you are emotionally involved in some sort of a conflict or are being emotionally drained or tested right now. This could even show up physically with your physical health. It could be showing up in your relationships, in your family, with your finances, with your career. This is some sort of battle that's going head to head. But again, look at what you have behind you, okay? With the Chariot here, look at how the stars have aligned. Again, the cosmic message for you right now is Spirit saying that you are not alone in this fight. Whatever this is, it's already been decided that you will overcome this. But the Chariot is a highly courageous character, right? And sure, he has weapons and chariots and tools to help him win the war, but those weapons are pointless if he lacks the courage, faith, and audacity to fight for what he wants and needs. All Spirit is asking you for is a tiny mustard seed of faith. With that small confidence in Spirit, and most importantly in yourself, you will witness an entire mountain move in your life. And that may be what this conflict feels like. It may feel like a mountain, and it may feel like Mount Everest in your life. And remember, this is an Aries supermoon that we are still under the umbrella of. And so no matter when you're seeing this reading, you could be seeing this reading months, years later, this energy is still present. You are on this frequency currently, whenever you are seeing this reading. But the frequency that this reading is tapped into, that we are divining information from, is underneath this Aries supermoon. And Aries believes in itself first before anything else. And Spirit is saying that we will fight for you, right? But with this specific battle, it wants to fight with you. Physically, you guys are at an impasse. This has now transitioned over into something that you need to spiritually fight or spiritually show up for. You guys have done all that you can do physically. Now it is time to go into your spiritual arsenal. And the Chariot here is the spiritual cavalry showing up to fight with you. And also realize that the shift will be instantaneous. The moment that you decide who you want to show up as, your energy is going to obey and assume that presence. This is a call to arms, pivoting from defense to offense. sense. You guys are switching right now. You're switching those roles. Instead of responding, this is you guys acting. You're not waiting for a move to be made, but you're now pushing the needle yourself. So the situation has to respond to you. You are repositioning in every which way, from being passive or a bystander in your own life, watching the situation get the better of you or take something from you. You guys are switching from that to being the assertive, self-assured, authoritative figure who is now commanding the situation that was controlling and directing you. Now you're the bullish one, making the bold moves, dictating the situation, and be more bold. That's another message here. Act with courage. Move like you know spirit and the universe is behind you, because in order to summon them, in order to petition them, you have to invite them in. And you do that by having faith that they are here for you, ready to go to war with you, working on your behalf. And that's how we call up our greatest spiritual allies. And so if that's something that you've been struggling with as well, just know that that is also a part of the spiritual battle here, is in having faith that you are spiritually surrounded by forces that are helping you, that want to help you, that want to guide you, that want to work alongside with you and even fight alongside with you when the time comes. Where are you struggling to believe in you? The Chariot is very courageous, very confident. If you guys are struggling to believe in yourself, there's also a message here to cast a spell on yourself, a spell that is going to help you align with your own inner chariot to instill confidence and embrace your own sovereignty, because it is your birthright to step into your own chariot presence where you feel like you can accomplish and you can overcome anything and everything because you have that much power behind you and as well as within you. Okay, so let's see what specific energies you guys can call in right now. It might not be these like actual energies. They might just have the sort of like personality or presence of these beings. We'll even pull a couple of spell cards to see what specific spells you can work with at this time if you guys do spell work on your own. And you can work with this full moon energy. If you were seeing this at the time of me posting, you can work with this energy for the next 6 months until the next moon in Aries, the new moon in Aries. But the most concentrated time is going to be for the next week following the super moon here. But because this is a timeless reading, again, and I've set the intention for this reading to find you when you are ready to put your trust in you and the universe, you will see this reading when you're meant to. And it's really important to trust that, because again, like these energies here that are showing up, especially with the Chariot here, these are warrior type energies. They are not defensive energies. They are offensive energies, meaning that they go out and make shit happen. Okay. And so once these energies start moving on your behalf, there's no stopping them. Once you get that ball rolling, they're swift and effective. They do not hold back. Very Sekhmet energy. This is Oya, Ogun, Kali Ma, Archangel Michael, Horus, Athena energy. Okay. So let's start grabbing a few cards here. Let's see what we get. If there's any specific energies around you. Oops. Exactly. You guys see that? You see who just came out? Kali Ma, spiritual transformation. There's a chunk of cards that fell out face down. But we have here Avalon Priestess, intuitive awakening. There's also an awakening that you guys are going through right now. And that may be why you feel like you're in some sort of like spiritual battle as well. When we are going through an awakening, that means that the parts of us where the lights were shut out, the parts of us that were dark or existing in our unconscious, or that were our shadow, in other words, they have to go through a transmutative process where they are transformed into the light. And that can feel like a battle in itself, because when we're going through an awakening, it means that our awareness is rising. And so it has to break through those different levels of consciousness. And that is when internal conflict can feel the most intense, because we may be naturally resistant to opening our eyes and realizing certain things. There may be certain things that we have suppressed ourselves that we don't necessarily want to see. And again, that is when we experience our most intense internal conflict, where we're almost fighting ourselves. So there could even be a little bit of conflict happening personally or internally with yourself. It might not even be something that you're dealing with other people or with an external situation. There could also be some sort of a spiritual battle going on within right now that you guys are also calling in spiritual assistance for. And we have here Kali Ma. Again, this is literal confirmation of what I literally just said, that this is the warrior energies coming out to assist you guys. I literally just said her name, Kali Ma. So some of you, that lets me know that some of you are extremely close with Kali Ma, or If you're not that aware of her, trust me, she is very aware of you for her energy to show up. And her card here says spiritual transformation. So you guys are also going through a spiritual transformation. When we are transforming, it's like a caterpillar becoming the butterfly, right? There is a very deep transformative process happening in that cocoon. That is what you guys are in right now. And so that also tells me that the spiritual battle that you guys may feel like you're in, you may feel like you can't escape it. It may feel like very close confined quarters. It may almost feel a little bit claustrophobic for you, which also tells me that you guys may feel like you are under a lot of pressure, similar to the idea of like, coal becoming a diamond. And so let's see if there's any, okay. I was going to say, let's see if there's any other energies that want to come out. We have here, Bridget, you are a healer. Okay, so also you guys have your own healing abilities, right? And every living being has their own healing abilities. It's just something that we come prepackaged with in this life. But there's a difference between, just like being someone that has healing abilities, which we all do, versus being a healer. And most of the time, healers are the ones that go through a lot of spiritual battles as well, because that is what you are actually doing. Every single day you are showing up on the front lines, spiritually on the front lines. And so for those of you that are watching this reading and you resonate with being a healer, are you doing your healing practices? Are you doing your protection work? It's really, really important to do your protection work as a healer, okay? This is like a doctor before they go in and treat a patient, they wash their hands, right? And so it's really important that, that's like a really very, very basic example, but still, it's like you need to be washing your hands spiritually, metaphorically. You need to be cleansing yourself, washing yourself, because you are on the energetic spiritual front lines all the time as a healer. You're going to battle for other people, other souls, and yourself, even your own lineage, okay? Even your ancestors, even your future descendants. You are on that front line. It's so important for you to be doing your protection work and call on your the energies around you that are here to protect you. So we also have here Bridget. A DT is underneath the deck, expand your consciousness. Again, this is that intuitive awakening that you guys are coming into realizing. Okay, and then let's just see if there's any other energies for you guys. Okay, and this card flipped out too. And we have here Thoth, the divine masculine, and then we have here Isis, sacred contracts. So Thoth Shahuti is very connected to the idea of expanding your consciousness or going through some sort of an intuitive awakening, because he's very similar to like a high priest, where he was known to contain all of the knowledge and wisdom in the universe. And so he was a very extremely wise, all-knowing being. This may be another energy or spirit or presence around you guys that is also trying to show you the ropes, so to speak, or maybe even teach you, guide you, give you some clarity and some insight as to what is going on right now within the spiritual battle. Because one of the weapons that is very effective when we are going into a spiritual battle is understanding why this battle has manifested. And so this is one of the most effective tools in your spiritual tool bag, is going to be the divine perception or knowledge as to what's going on here, being able to look around and not just necessarily fight or go to war, but also being able to intuit or understand or connect the dots as to why the situation is manifested in your life, what it is trying to show you, what it is trying to teach you, okay? Because there's some sort of a sacred contract here between you and this challenge that you guys are up against with this Chariot card right here. And this is why these energies are really rallying around you right now, because they're trying to help you sort of break through the sacred contract when it comes to finally ridding yourself of this very stubborn sort of situation or challenge that, again, has embedded itself in a lot of you guys' spirit or energy, okay? And then underneath that, we have here Lilith, face your shadow. That could be another thing that you guys are going through. And we kind of already talked about that as well with intuitive awakening right here. So yeah, for sure. Any of these energies here that resonate with you guys, they could be trying to reach out to you. I'll also leave out Lilith as well. I'm sorry, I had to straighten my camera. I did not know it was that crooked. Anyways, let's pull a couple of messages here from your angels. What do they want to say to you? We have here, look up. Old habits also came out for you guys. And then we have necessary sacrifice underneath the deck. And so look up here says, what you perceive to be over is merely a catalyst for change. What was will return in a different form. Whatever you guys are releasing. And it's interesting too, because it says what was will return in a different form. You guys have necessary sacrifice right here. There's something that you guys are sacrificing or giving up. And it could totally be some sort of old bad habits that have kept you guys stuck in some sort of a contract, a karmic contract, or some sort of, it's kept some sort of stubborn challenge or situation in your life. It may have been these old bad habits could have been essentially sort of feeding that this challenge that's in your life. And this may be what you guys are being called right now to sacrifice and give up. Actually, the most recent pick a card that I did was what do you need to release spiritually? And so if you guys haven't seen that reading, maybe check it out. There could be some information in there for you if you feel drawn to it. But old bad habits here says habitual responses from the past are overriding your new good intentions. Love something greater than the habit. You guys may also be going, that's funny because actually what we talked about in the astrological report for the supermoon in Aries, because we had moon conjunct Saturn retrograde during the supermoon in Aries. And actually the way that I described it was a lot of you guys are going cold turkey somewhere. You're cutting something off like that, like it's a bad habit. You're cutting it at the knees and just releasing it, letting it go, because you know that it's no longer and not even that it's no longer serving you, but it's become something that's toxic that needs to go. It's like energetic waste. Look up here says what you perceive to be over is merely a catalyst for change. What was will return in a different form. And then underneath the deck here, we have necessary sacrifice. You cannot have a new beginning without letting something go. Create space for change and new things will find you. You guys are creating space for change right now. This is why you guys are going to battle, spiritual battle, so to speak. What's going to end up happening is you guys are going to end up clearing a lot of things out of your life that you no longer need, and that was just taking up space, and that was actually draining you, or it became sort of like an energetic parasite in your life that needed to go. And so just trust that something new is going to step into its place. And then just pulling a couple of spell cards here for you. Okay, we have here a Sweet Dream spell, and then Thor's day spell. And Sweet Dream spell here says restful, and this is a house spell, you guys. And it says restful and deep sleep is one way to ensure your own good health. Take a pink satin pillow and stuff it with well-mixed dried rose petals, bergamot, eucalyptus, and woolly thyme, and sew it with purple thread. And before the final stitch, whisper, I call upon the powers of the night to watch over me, to hear my heart's desires, and bring me what my soul requires. Blessings to one and all. And then it says, not the final stitch 3 times. Place a pillow inside of your pillowcase and kiss the pillow. Okay, if you guys want to screenshot that, hopefully you can see it. And then underneath the deck here, we have Thor's day spell, and it's an altar spell. And it says, if you find yourself in need of help resolving a problem or uncovering new resources within yourself, this is that chariot here. And it says, try the following. On a Thursday, light some blue candles and chant the following affirmation. Fears and doubt be gone from me. I have the courage to break free. I have the wisdom to know and the strength to grow. I call upon my inner guide to hear and see my truth. Blessed be. Repeat this 4 times while the candle burns. Embrace your intuition and trust it with all your heart. Again, you guys have to really trust the fact that you have the spiritual assistance around you and that it's working. Okay. And you guys, that's it. That is all that I'm seeing for you. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, and all these spirits that have shown up in today's reading for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.